Oh, you mean that's some.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. She's moving around, Colin.
After 55 years, it looks like you could train somebody.
And Smitty ain't worked yet.
That's just not be true. Genesis chapter 16, where are we going to be? Oh, before we start, let me say, oh, excuse me, it's been a long day. What was I going to say? Oh, looks like I'll have another funeral this week. Ever did the one of Miss Aretha Osteen? Would pray for her. I was there yesterday to give her 2 days, and today is the first day. Yeah. She will be much in prayer. I was there a week before that. She told me she was ready to go home, tired of this world. And I said, good. She worked at the Lowndes County High School, I believe. Yep, high school. Lunchroom all her life. She married a Osteen from Lakeland. I don't remember his name. I did his funeral, but I can't. That's been a long time ago. But she's part of that Bobby Osteen we went to school with. This will be his aunt by marriage here.
I think so.
I believe that's the way it is. But they bury him all up there at Empire. I remember that. You know, I don't know if you can get there from here. But now the bridge is out. There's something about the bridge, or you have to go through Peterville now. You used to go up Willacoochee Highway or somewhere like that. And they done tore the church down. It went out of business, but there's a graveyard there. But anyhow, we went much and pray for her if you would, and the people in Florida. You know, Texas had a lot, but Florida's so little. And it's so watery. This could be something, folks. And it could come right on up there where we are. There's always that possibility, and I hope it doesn't. But I don't know. But my daughter, our daughter, let me put it that way, up in Virginia, Julie called me early this morning. She said, Daddy, y'all got gas? I said, well, yeah, as far as I know. She said, you got water? I said, yeah, there's a couple of cases of water out there, I think. Yeah, I'm down. Well, you better stock up. I'll tell you, I don't want it to come in here, but if it does, so be it, that's all I can say. I mean, I know how to survive off a little. Some people don't, but then that's, you know, everybody wasn't raised like me. But I can do without some things. The lady I'm talking about that's dying, she collects lamps, old lamps. She got over, what did she say? How many? 127 lamps. I've never seen many lamps in a house in all my life. But anyhow, she gave Sandra poor mouth around 2 of them. Oh, honey? Oh, that's so pretty. Oh. But anyhow, we put some oil in that with her and have lights. And I can take my fish cooker and cook whatever I want to cook on my grill, one or the other. I can make it. I believe I can.
Well, if anybody needs a bath, they get the bath.
There ain't no water in that bathroom.
Oh, my goodness. Fill it up.
Go to the river.
Yeah.
They were out of gas in Valdosta today.
Sam's was out.
They were out by the Smoking Pig.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like I told Sandra, and they're out of water in a lot of stores, but they're gonna resupply. That thing ain't supposed to hit Miami until Sunday. Yes, I know Sam's ain't gonna sit there without gas and water. And they gonna restock. But all them people coming from Florida this way is what's gonna put it in the bind, I think. I don't know. I ain't smart. Any other prayer requests?
My brother's finger, I couldn't take, I was about to have the one back, put back on, but
Oh, my.
they said it's no good.
That's his heart. He'd get enough of that after a while.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Praise the Lord and my daughter, her baby had been in the breech position. She turned, and it went in the right position. But, and everything is looking good, but they have found, protein in her urine, so now we gotta watch that, because she's coming up on just the last 3 or so weeks. So
Oh,
just
wow.
praying that blood pressure stays level on up for her to get through it.
Good. Carl's gonna be a grandma. Grandpa.
No, you said it right, grandma.
Papa. Any other prayer requests or praise or whatever?
Brother Crosby, there's a lady I work with, her name's Taya Davis. She is, in her 40s, and she's been having a lot of heart trouble here lately, and we need to keep her in our prayers if we can.
All right.
Adrian, Conan.
My brother-in-law, Stanley White, had cancer. Was it a year or two ago?
About 3 years ago. About 3 years ago. Go ahead.
You do not come to church, children. About 3 years ago, they did the surgery. They did, we was up there and did the chemo and all, and she was cancer-free until a few weeks ago. Went to the doctor and they found a tumor between her gallbladder and her liver in the duct.
No, the tumor was on her liver,
On her
but
liver.
the cancer was also in the duct between her gallbladder and her liver.
So they did the surgery last week. And she went home yesterday, and they say they, as far as Ed could tell, the surgeon, they got all of it, but we won't know yet till for a while. But if you would remember, Adrian Conan. It's got an N on it, doesn't it, Adrian?
Adrienne, Adrian.
Adrian Conan. They're up in Columbia, South Carolina. Any other prayer requests?
Brother Colin, I got another question request.
All right. We should all of us have those. Genesis 16. In studying this chapter and looking at it and praying over it and thinking about it, I called it the detour chapter. But I'm laughing at myself, okay? I come up with some funny names. Let me read the chapter to you. There it was 16 verses. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, and an Egyptian whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abram, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go into my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarah said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee. Isn't that amazing? I have given my maid unto thy bosom, and when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. the Lord judge between me and thee. I don't get that one. But Abram, she guilty. She planned it all. She made it come about and then said, the Lord judge between me and thee. There ain't no judging to do there. All he did was do what his wife told him. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself now. But Abram said unto Sarah, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. He throws the ball back in her court. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarah. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, return to thy mistress, and submit thyself unto her hand. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou, God, seest me. Or she said, Have I also here looked after him and seeth me, that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Beer-lahai. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abraham a son. And Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. Oh, there's more there than you can teach. Woo. Abraham was 75 years old when the Lord called him to leave his country. Now here it is 10 years later, and he promised him that he would be a great nation. He promised him that he would be his descendants would be as the stars of heaven, and his descendants would be as the sand of the sea, etc. That was promised. And here he is, 85 years old. He'd been walking with God now 10 years. And here comes somebody that's impatient. Her name's Sarah. It's so easy. I'm trying to, okay. It's so easy to get ahead of God. So easy, folks. And we see it all around us. I've been guilty, probably be guilty again. I hope not. But I don't know whether you've been guilty or not. But, you know, God impresses on us something. We know God impressed that upon us. And for whatever reason, we just don't wait on the Lord. And I know that's a hard word. Wait. I know of all the things you and I have to do as a Christian is wait. We're waiting on Jesus now. We're waiting on death. We know both of those are going to come. God told us so. Every one of us is going to die. But we're waiting. Now some people try to speed that up and take their lives. I'm not of that category, okay? And we're going to see here another trial for Abram's faith. The first trial was back in the 12th chapter, I believe it is, of Genesis, where the Lord called unto him or spoke to him and said, leave your country, leave your kindred, leave your friends, etc. That was a big step. You said, well, I don't see no big about it. Well, what if God told you to leave Stockton, to leave Georgia, to leave the United States, and go to Mexico, Peru, wherever, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Bahamas, wherever, and do something there? Leave your family behind now, your friends. Of course, Abram and Sarah didn't have any children or anything to leave, but they had to leave their families and the people they've known all their life. And they're going to a land they don't know nothing about. Really don't know where to go. Not really. He said, I'll show it to you. And that's trying. That'll try your faith. Amen. The next time his faith was tried was when he got down there where he was supposed to be, finally, after his daddy died. He went a ways, a good ways, from Ur of the Chaldeans, and then his daddy was with him. And you know, you don't like to not rebuke your daddy, but tell daddy, no, this is not the place, this is not where God wants me, or told me to go, etc. So he gave in to his daddy there, and lived there until his daddy died, and then he packed up again, and now he goes to where God wants him, where God told him to go, and all of a sudden there's a shortage of groceries. There's a famine in the land. Now what do? You're where God told you to go. Do you pack up and go somewhere else? Or do you stay there and just believe God will supply your need according to his riches and glory? Well, Abram did what all of us probably would do. He packed up and went to Egypt. He didn't ask God. He didn't consult God. And he went down to Egypt. And here's a result of what we just read of them being in Egypt. Because that's where Hagar come from. But the next trying of his faith, when they come out of Egypt, of course Lot and his nephews stayed with him all the way. They come out of Egypt, they was pretty well off. The king there gave Abram a lot of stuff. And apparently he somehow or another got a lot of stuff because he was rather rich, him and Lot. And then Lot's servants and Abram's servants was having problems where to feed the cattle, sheep, or whatever. And he had another trying of his faith. Do I stand up to Lot and tell him I'm his own? Or do I tell him, okay, you pick out which way you want to go, I go the opposite way. So he told Lot that. Lot went down to Sodom and Gomorrah, or towards Sodom and Gomorrah. He didn't go in it yet. And Abram went the other way. And then there came a time, and we just studied it the week before last, when 4 kings came over to Sodom and Gomorrah and captured Lot and his family and took the goods of all the people there and they took off with them. And word comes to Abram that, hey, your nephew he's a prisoner and the king's got him and all that good stuff. Now here's another trying faith. Do you go down there and try to rescue your nephew? Or do you say, well, you made your bed hard, lie in it. You chose your medicine, now swallow it. You say, well, preacher, who are you talking to? Me? So often in pastoring, sometimes you want to tell somebody, well, I told you that. And you didn't listen. And it's hard to work up sympathy for people like that. Well, y'all being mighty quiet. But Abram did the right thing in this instance. He went down and rescued Lot and brought him and his family and all the goods back to the people, brought the people back, etc., etc. Then there's another trial of faith come along with all that. The king of Sodom says, hey, give me the people and you take all the goods. Well, he was deserving of it. He could have said, well, I am the one that went down there and rescued them all, and without me, there wouldn't be any goods coming back. There wouldn't be any people coming back. And he could have took it. But he didn't do that. He did the right thing. He said, no, thank you. I'm not going to do that because you're not going to make Abram rich. The world's not going to know that you made me rich. If I be rich, it'll be of God. And then here's another testing of his faith in this chapter. I could say a lot, and I probably am, and probably somebody will get mad at me. But the Bible started off with a woman getting the man in trouble. Now, ladies, I'm not picking on you, and I have no idea what you do or what you don't do with your husband or whoever. I have no idea. Don't want to know. But I know this. I love that woman said that. But that woman is not always right. She is right sometimes. What percentage, preacher? I have no idea. I don't keep score. But Abram has been walking with God for 10 years. And he has done well walking with God. And then here comes Sarah says, you ain't got no youngins yet. Well, Abram was aware of that without her telling him, I think. And she talked him into it. Let me get my maid, Hagar, the Egyptian woman. Let me give her to you to be your wife. That's what she did. She gave Hagar, and she had the right to that because Hagar was like a slave. She was a servant, the Bible says, but that's like a slave. And she had the right to do that because she owned her. But Abraham had the right to say, no, ma'am, we're not going to go that way. God has promised us a child, and we're going to wait for the promise of God to be fulfilled. He could have said that. He didn't. I don't know where he thought that or not, the Bible don't say, but he made a big, big mistake. And the world has suffered from that mistake until this day right now. Iraq, Iran, you name it. Guess where they came from? Ishmael is the daddy of all of those. Just like Noah is the daddy of all of us. Well, leave it alone. But he give in. And I understand that from being married these few years. Sometimes you know better, but you give in. Sometimes you know, no, we don't need to do that, but you give in. I have a little old saying, I say quite often, it's cheaper than a divorce. Go ahead and give in, save you money. Amen. But that's what this chapter is about. Sarah saw a shortcut to helping God. I reckon I can say that. Helping God do what God said He was going to do. There's no shortcut to serving God. There's no shortcut to holiness. There's no shortcut to none of it in Christianity. I know the modern day and what goes on in so-called Christianity, and it makes me mad, but there's no shortcut. You're either holy or you're not holy. You're either saved or you're not saved. I mean, there's no way. I'm a fence straddler. I've had people tell me that. I'm a fence straddler. There ain't no such thing. There ain't no such thing. That's like my doctor told me Friday, I'm a borderline diabetic. There's no such thing as a borderline diabetic. Is you is or is you ain't. That's from another doctor's mouth told me that. Said, Carla, there ain't no such thing. Said either you're a diabetic or you're not one. And I said, yeah, okay. But Sarah talked him into it. That'll work. Yeah. And Sarah never said, God told me to do this. She never said that, because God didn't tell her. And she never said that. She didn't lie about it. But in that second verse, when she's talking to Abram about giving him Hagar as his wife, that she'll bear a son, in that middle of that verse it said, it may be that I may obtain children by her. No, you're not going to change. You're not going to bear a child by her, Miss Sarah. I got that much sense. I reckon she had it in her mind that she thought that Hagar was going to bear a child, and then she was going to get the child, and Hagar will have nothing to do with it. I don't know that. The Bible doesn't say that, but it does say that Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah. Where is God in this? They never say, well, let's build an altar. Let's offer up some sacrifices and let's ask God if this is. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. How many times in my little old lifetime, I've had people who come to me and say, preacher, I know what you said, but I said, yep. I don't clean up the messes. I can't clean up the messes. Only God can do that. But so many times, oh boy. Boy. When she had the baby, well, not before she had the baby, when it was known that she was expecting a baby, the Hagar despised Sarah. It wasn't the other way around. She despised her. Didn't want to be around her. And I don't know if I don't know if the Bible doesn't say that Sarah was treating her wrong, or after Abram went into her, she conceived, that Sarah changed her mind, or she, whatever. I don't know. The Bible doesn't say. But I got sense enough to know that two women in the same house sharing the same man don't work. You can say what you want to. It don't work. Now, the Bible says Solomon was the wisest man that's ever been. But Solomon had a problem. It was women. And I forget how many hundreds he had. And I imagine there was some good old-timey hair pulling every once in a while betwixt all of those women. To serve God, to walk with God, you're going to have to exercise two things: faith and patience. I didn't want to say that because of all the people in here, I'm probably the most impatient person there is in this building. Why don't you pray for patience? No. I didn't read that verse too. Trial and tribulation brings patience. I don't need any more trial and tribulation, I promise. But you've got to have faith in what God said. Amen. And you got to have patience to wait on God. I know we're a push-button society. Amen. It's got to happen right now. How many times I saw her a while ago, Sister Stephanie was making me some copies of some CDs, and I said, that thing ain't through yet. And I walk off and I come back. That's the slowest thing I ever seen. I apologize. It wasn't you, it was a machine. But I'm an impatient fella, and I know that. And I'm working on it. Amen, Sandy. But I'm working on it. But Sarah, it's been 10 years. Can you imagine that? 10 years, God gave him his word. You're going to be able to break nation. And Sarah saw a shortcut. Detour, what do you want to call it? You said, well, preacher, you said it takes two things. Yes, it does. I'm going to elaborate on it just a little, and you're going to be able to go home. Faith and patience. You say, well, I don't know about that faith. Well, let me talk to you just a second about biblical faith. Biblical faith. This book. And I've just said a lot about it. But biblical faith will cause you, help you, wait. Wait. Amen. We built a building in Peru. And we had enough of money to get the walls up, but we didn't have enough of money to put the roof on. They put flat roofs. They said they're going to go up another story. You ain't going to find a house in Latin America with a gable-end roof like we have here. They don't exist. All of them are flat. All Irish are flat. Usually they keep their dog away. A lot of them do. In Carlton, I wrote I believe 100 letters. I can't remember. It's been a long time. To the churches that were helping me financially. There wasn't that many churches helping me financially, okay? And to any church I've been in preaching, and I asked them to pray and please, if they could, help us put that roof on that building. I waited for the phone to ring. leave Peru and come home for what we call our furlough. And we'd be here a year and then go back. But I wanted them to have a roof on that building before I left there. It didn't happen. You said, you mean the people that you, yeah, I mean that. I didn't get one answer from a preacher, if I remember right.
You got promised that it's never take place.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that either. You said, what do you do? I left them without a roof on them, come home. Well, a good friend there, a good man, young man, came down there and didn't know a lick of Spanish, and he was studying in the seminary. He was getting his master's degree in Greek. They wanted him to go ahead and get his PhD and teach in the seminary in Texas. And he made one trip to Peru and stayed there, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks with us. And God spoke to him, and he come back to Peru. He was a single man. Nice mannered, whatever you want to call it, nice looking. And probably could have pastored any church he wanted to pastor, because he was very smart. And he said, asked me, could he borrow Jody? I said, yeah, for what? He said, I want to start a church. I said, oh, you don't even speak Spanish. He said, I will. And I said, okay, you can have Jody. And he'd take Jody, and Jody would translate. As Paul preached in English, Jody would translate. And trying to put all this together time-wise. Was it while we was gone? The businessman from Miami I never met yet sent the money.
What's our car? We left our car.
Yeah, I told him to sell our car, and that helped put the roof on it. But some businessman that called me, that his uncle knew, his uncle was a preacher in Miami, but anyhow, the businessman heard about it, and he just wrote a check and sent it to Paul. And with that and the selling of my car, or our car, and put a roof on the building. But I got tired of waiting, I promise you. I'm not, I'm just not one to wait. If you tell me you're gonna do something, I'd rather you tell me, no, preacher, I can't do that. Don't tell me you're gonna do it and then drag your feet. But real biblical faith will enable you to wait. Real biblical faith is only concerned about God getting the glory. I've never been in a better funeral than I was in Sunday. Never. I've done my share of it. But I'm going to tell you something, God don't speak to me all the way. But I know when God impresses me to do something. And I met with the family over there in the fellowship hall before the service to have prayer with them. And I told them this. I said, thank you. I'm honored, and I was, to have a part in Brother Bruce's funeral. I don't think we realize as individuals or as a family what a man he was. I don't think we realize. You put it mighty high, preacher. I'm not going to stand up beside him at the judgment. No way. But I told his family, I said, look, the Lord has impressed me, and I know what I'm going to say, mostly. And I said, I want to say something about Bruce, but I said, what I want to do is to bring glory to God from this man's life. And that's what I tried to do. And that family was about ready to adopt me. I've never had as many compliments on a service as I've had on that one Sunday. It was perfect. I mean, it was. But biblical faith, whether you preach, whether you teach, whether you sing, whatever you do, biblical faith will make you concerned about God getting the glory from whatever you're doing. From what, it doesn't matter. They don't big eyes and little U's. Whatever you're doing, be sure God's going to get the glory out of it. Biblical faith will enable you to wait. Biblical faith will be concerned about God getting the glory. Biblical faith will remind you or impress you, are you doing what that Bible said to do? Anybody can preach. I've heard some of them. They can. You said, no, you got to get called. No, they get up, got the gift of words or whatever. They can preach. But what scares me about preaching, if I might use the word scared, am I obeying God's word? Am I saying what's in this Bible? What's taught in this Bible? Am I saying that? Or am I saying what Dr. Ballstopper said? Yeah, I know I'm teaching Carlton tonight, but just leave me alone. I'll be through in just a moment. Biblical faith, Carlton, will enable you to wait. Biblical faith, you will get concerned about you not getting the glory, but God getting the glory. Amen. Biblical faith will impress upon you, if I might put it that way, the question, am I obeying God's word? Biblical faith will cause you to have joy and peace within. A lot of people don't have it. I'm talking about joy. I ain't talking about laughing, cutting up, giggling, and all that good stuff. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that's not joy. Joy is in Him, folks. On the inside, do you have joy? Biblical faith will cause you to have joy and peace. As I was talking with this lady who's fixing to die, she might be dead right now, but I was her pastor for many years. I know her really well. As I said a while ago, she worked in the lunchroom at Lowndes High School. And we was about almost as bad as y'all are at Calvary in Lake Park to eat. And anytime we was furnishing the food for whatever, and there was a crowd, whatever it might be, I would ask, or my wife would normally, ask Miss Aretha, now how much do we need? She'd say, how many people are you feeding? And Sandra would say, so many. Well, you need so many of this, so many of that, da, 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 da. She just rattled off still like that. But when I was there the other day, me and Sandra, last week, and I did not know the lady was sick. Or I'd already been. I better not say that. But anyhow, as I was fixing to pray, I said, Miss Aretha, I want to have a word of prayer with you, and I'm going. And she's got her right mind. She's not drugged up or anything. Now, I was by there yesterday, they had her knocked out with morphine, but she come to before I left. I talked with her son. But last week, she told me, she says, I've had enough of this world. I'm ready to go home. I said, I'm ready. I said, no, that settles it. You ready to go? It's just a matter of when God wants you to leave. How many times I tell Bruce that? Who knows? You're not going to die before God says die. I'm a believer in that. You said, well, they shock you, bring you back. Well, they might shock me and bring me back, but it just, I'm going when God said, okay, come on. But it's so much easier. She's got a son and a daughter, and that's it. Grown, of course. But pray for that family, if you would, because none of them's in church. That I know of. Amen. Abram got in a mess. And the mess is still here on this earth. And we'll see more about Hagar and Ishmael in the days to come, okay? That's not the end of the story, to say the least. But don't get ahead of God. Wait on the Lord. Be glad you did. Telling me that, okay? Wait on the Lord. His time and our time is different. All different. All different. Julie called me this morning and talked to me while Sandra was working. And she said, Daddy, what do you think about these here hurricanes? I said, well, if there's any country probably deserves some hurricanes, it's the United States. We're not living in a Christian country, but we're far from it. Now leave the gate open there. You decide what you want to. But I know who causes it to rain, and et cetera, and controls all of it. You talk to him about it, not me. Amen. All right. We need to take up an offering.